was born across the river on a mountain where I call home. Long times good there, don't know why I ever had to roam. Big Tennessee River.
Good evening, David.
So does that mean Traveling Son's a UT fan too? I mean, I am literally surrounded by UT fans everywhere.
Now, I don't know if he is or not.
But now every one of y'all have a source. You have a guy. You have an insider. Everybody was in on Gruden. We got Gruden. We got Gruden.
That was a joke.
I'm not listening to any more sources, insiders. My man, I got a dude. Don't ever tell me that ever again. I ain't listening.
That was such a joke.
And Dan Mullen said, "Oh, y'all wanted to talk to me? I'm sorry. I'm going to the Sunshine State."
No, here's how it went. Florida AD picked up the phone and called Dan Mullen, and before he said, "Hey Dan, this is Scott Strickland. Are you interested in this?" He stopped right there. Dan said, "I'm on my way."
Oh, Scott Strickland, huh?
Yeah, he said, "I'm on my way."
Guess where Scott Strickland come from?
Let me guess. Lexington.
He came from Lexington. That's right. Traveling Son is a K-State. Hey, Traveling, sorry we stole your mascot. I don't like it. Y'all can have it back. We paid a consulting firm $80,000 to get a new Wildcat mascot and a new UK logo. All they did was put marshmallows in the old one.
That's all they did?
Basically, they just blew it up a little bit, and then they stole the Kansas State Wildcat head. I like our old one.
So they went to Google and kind of copy and pasted.
Yeah, they put in K and Wildcat, and that's what they got.
So they're like the fishing lure company. They just copy somebody else, and it makes something a little different.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Well, I just heard Kevin Vaughn told me that the Oklahoma State people are denying that Gundy was talking to Tennessee today, but that's all we heard on the radio.
Let me guess. He knew a guy.
Yeah, maybe he does.
He had an insider telling him.
You need to ask Pangrac what he thinks about us taking Gundy away from Oklahoma State. Or he's Oklahoma. He's a Boomer Sooner. What about the shakeup in the college football over the weekend? Oh my goodness! How about them Roll Tides?
How about them elephants?
How about them?
Well, see, the thing about Auburn that's so confusing is they can't pick a mascot. They have three.
Yeah.
So depending on who you talk to, if you talk to an old timer, there's a Plainsman.
Yep.
If you talk to a dude a while back, like from the 80s, it's the Tigers. And if you talk to a millennial, it's the War Eagle. So make up your mind.
War Plainsman. War Plains Eagles.
Yeah, go Plain Eagle War.
Yeah. War Eagles are spinning bait in a boat.
If I was Bama, I'd have some fun with that. Which I've always said. How did Auburn not make fun of Bama when Obama was running? All he had to do was say no Obama.
No Bama.
I never did understand why Auburn never made fun of that. They should have asked me. They should have consulted up here. I had a T-shirt made for that.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Oh, what's his name? Bama fan didn't say exposed. Call out the elephants for being exposed over the weekend.
Matt Pangrac says he loves Gundy at Oklahoma State. He says keep him. Hey Pangrac, is there a Garth Brooks versus Toby Keith rivalry out there with OU and Old State?
I'm telling you, Tennessee fans on Twitter were pretty excited today. They're all ready to start growing mullets if we get Gundy.
But so he has legitimate. I don't even know this. Does he have a legitimate mullet?
Yeah, he's got
for real.
Yeah, he's got business in front, party in the back. I think it's toned down.
I can't believe somebody in the 2000 teens has a mullet.
It's a little more professional mullet now. It's not quite rat tail Joe Dirt type mullet, but back when he was a man, when he was 40, he had the mullet.
Yeah, Toby.
Come at me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Is that guy?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Oh, he's the 40. I'm a man guy. I'm a GMA or GAM. Toby Keith is good friends with Mark Stoops here at Kentucky Pangrac. He shows up at Kentucky games with Stoops. Hockey to gymnastics, he does it all. He do it all. That's right. I like me some Toby Keith. He should have been a cowboy. Ooh, wait a minute. Is there a play on that? But he was a Sooner. I've heard similar statements of Brooks and Keith. Yeah, there ought to be some kind of country rivalry there with Brooks and Toby Keith.
So David's talking to some friends on Instagram on TOS Fishing Podcast, IG.
Yeah, IG Live.
And we're going to figure out how to get both of us on there at the same time. I mean,
we could just do that from the couch, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, we could. We can find a way to post it up as a show.
Does anybody know how to do that IG Live split thing? There must be a setting, because when you've had it on in your car, Matt, it asked me if I wanted to join as a guest.
Well, that's interesting.
So maybe I don't have a setting on the TOS set right yet.
Yeah. I must not have. Well, somebody tried to jump in on mine too tonight. And,
see, then you must have the setting.
It didn't work though. It didn't. She never came through. So we'll work it out. That'll be fun.
She didn't have her pants on.
Oh no, it wasn't her.
What was that about?
Oh, that's Elise. That's Kevin Hartman's fishing agent up there in Vermont. She's always on Instagram posting pictures about or videos saying she just wants to work at home without her pants on.
There's old Lane Myers jumping in, the old SSFL competitor for a while.
Yeah.
I believe Blaine Myers got in on some fantasy fishing with the
I think
TOS.
these guys are itching to get a little trivia challenge going.
Oh man, that makes me use my brain, man.
It's getting about that time. We might have a abbreviated one this year.
Yeah, like a Final Four.
Yeah, we may just jump right into the Final Four.
$25 you can get in the Final Four.
Yeah.
50 to Matt and 50 to me.
There we go.
Well, guess what I'm 95% done doing, Matt?
95% done. I don't know.
Christmas shopping.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was done. I was like 95% done Thursday night. I got online and got the cyber deals Thursday night.
Man, that's the way to go.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, I had a flyer in the paper from Dell, and they had a laptop I wanted to buy for my oldest daughter. I got it half off at 9 o'clock Eastern. They had hourly bargains. So you had to hop on the website and then hit the right hour. Nailed it.
Hey, awesome.
Went to Costco, got my wife's Apple Watch done. Got it a little discounted. Went to... It's nice and warm in Kansas. Why are you cold in Kentucky? Man, it is a little cold. I got my skull hat on. My duck hunt skull hat, man. I like the lining inside of it.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's got a good warmth layer underneath. Hey, as long as my ears are warm, I'm warm. Like if I were just wear like a ball hat duck hunting and it's cold, dude, I'm gonna freeze all day.
Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty comfortable for duck hunting.
It's 60 in Michigan.
That's warmer up there than here.
Oh, Pangrac, bringing the humor in the fish. All my relatives are getting vacuum-packed redfish on the half-shell fillets for Christmas.
That's pretty good.
Speaking of snot on a cracker, who likes oysters on the half-shell? I haven't had any in a while, and I'm dying for some. Man, put that cracker down, put the horseradish, put the hot sauce, slide her all in at one time. 60 in Michigan. Dude, it's warmer in Michigan than it is in Kentucky. What the heck? Must be global warming.
Must be.
Crap. That's another Tennessee reference, Matt. How am I going to get through tonight without Tennessee references? There's Ellie Noel. How you pronounce your name? Ellie Noel? Ellie Noel? That's your buddy, Matt.
Elise.
It's Elise? There's no way. That's E-L-Y.
I think she just goes by Ellie.
Oh, well, okay. Ellie Mae? Ellie Clampett?
She's worked hustling hard trying to get them sponsorships for her clients.
Colton Story joined, legendary Western Kentucky guy.
What's going on, Colton? Kentucky Lake guy.
Kentucky Lake, that's
Man,
right. Colton,
Lake.
Colton, I was down in your neck of the woods this weekend. I was in McCracken and Ballard. Elise. E-L-Y-S-I is Elise, yeah. Colton. I hope we can get some good Dang, I had a good joke, Matt, and I lost it. The volcano in Bali. That's fair. That's what's warming and cooling. That's funny right there.
Well, is it official, David? Are the Wildcats second place in the East in football?
No, I think we finished third because nobody else could beat South Carolina like we did, and I think they finished second. We finished third.
Well, you beat South Carolina. You should have the tiebreaker.
No, they won more. I think they won like 5, and we won 4. We went 4-4.
Oh, okay. In the SEC, you went 4-4.
Ellie, else, at least TMI. I'm not mad. I got youngins.
Okay,
Funny.
well, congratulations being third. Tennessee was last, of course.
I hit the wrong button. Look at that. Look at this lantern I bought. This 3-pack lanterns. Look, these 3-pack, like we're always losing flashlights at the house. So I was at Costco and they had these lanterns. Look what happens outside. Bam! So I put that over there. No more lost flashlights around the Rose Hacienda.
That's pretty.
That's
sweet
crazy.
little light there. It's like an LED light almost.
Dude, it's like
Right.
I got 3 of them with batteries for like $18.99.
That's a pretty good deal.
It was pretty good. No more lost flashlights. We're so bad at losing flashlights around here. It's pitiful. It's like, hey, I need to go outside. I need to take trash out. I need to walk the dog. Anybody got a flashlight? Nope. You got a flashlight? Nope. I gave you one the other day. Where's it at? I don't know. Lost it.
Well, we're going to have just a pretty informal show tonight. I don't think there's a whole lot going on in the fishing world that I've noticed.
We're in the off season.
We're in the off season. Jeff Crete is wearing orange and white, looking good in that orange and white, holding up them tuna.
Yeah, y'all had your Tennessee fun with that. Like everywhere I turned. But, Matt, I did not send you the screenshot. Guess who had the number 1 running back in the SEC this year?
Let me guess. Kentucky.
That's right. Benny Snell Jr. 18 touchdowns, 1,300 and something yards.
And he's a sophomore, right?
And he's a sophomore. He has to come back next year. Boom.
And I bet you next year will be his last year if he has another season like that.
He's 1,400 yards from the Kentucky record, and that guy played 4 years, and he'll end up playing 3. No, I ain't wearing one of them ugly sweaters. Ain't no way. Light up sweaters. Nope, I'm out.
Well,
nope. Sweaters shouldn't have batteries. They should have enough warmth with themselves.
Yeah, that might be a little tricky. You have a little short sweater catches fire.
Yeah, what happens if you sweat real bad and the moisture gets down there
Ooh, yeah.
to the battery pack, and all of a sudden you're on fire?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
So yeah, as far as fishing goes, if that 60-degree weather in Michigan comes on down here, I think a lot of guys may get back out on the lake.
Yeah, isn't Michigan supposed to have like hard water this time?
Yeah, that ice is supposed to be forming up there soon.
Yeah. Yeah, they should be having hard water up there.
Yeah, I mean,
insurance coverage.
Ice fishing season just pretty much started, and
it's like my specs are too tight.
Wonder what our brothers up there in Maine, if they're starting to see a little ice yet. Probably not, but I bet it's getting close.
We'll try them over. There's old Skeeter SX. There's a good old Eastern Kentucky boy. We got Western Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky covered on here, Matt. That's always good.
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Matt, what time is it? We got a couple minutes. We got 2. All right. We're having Luke Dunkin on, and the IG, I don't have it set up to where y'all can hook into my laptop, so I have no idea how to do both at the same time. You are getting snippets, and Matt's getting snippets, so look us up on iTunes, TOS, Outdoor Scoreboard, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. YouTube.
Yeah, and iHeartRadio. Yeah.
iHeartRadio podcast section.
Yep, just look us up there, the Outdoor Scoreboard podcast.
We'll try to bring you the best guests we can, or who is available at the time.
Whoever we can get.
Tonight's guest is pretty tough to get. Let's just say it took 2 of us. All right, I'm going to save this. There you go. All right, let's go. Hit that. Hit end. hit share. There we go.
All right, let's get Mr. Luke Dunkin on the phone. What do you say?
Hey, looky there.
Uh-oh.
Luke Dunkin had a deal. He tagged us and said it's one of them DMs.
All right.
Where'd he go? All right.
Let's get him on. If this number's right.
Hello.
What's going on, Luke?
What's up?
Oh my gosh, it is. It's the one and only. The guy, the mysterious Luke Dunkin from Alabama, everybody. Give it up.
Tennessee. Come on now. Right on the Alabama line.
I did that on purpose.
You can't wish that on me, Ricky Bobby. Come on.
I did that on purpose
because
I got a bad feeling there's going to be a lot of Tennessee talk tonight, and I'm just trying to curb it.
Well, I'd like to say War Eagle, first of all.
Yeah.
Spinner Bader vote.
Yeah, I gotta say War Eagle, but we may be saying it forever if they don't get things straight up there in Knoxville.
Man, they pretty much wet the bed Sunday. I'll tell you, Luke, we were one signature away from having a real mess on our hands.
Dude, y'all were fixing to be broke for a few years.
We were, and my thing with that entire Schiano mess that was the craziest part of it to me is that the fans stopped it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something we've never seen before in professional sports or college sports, is that fans banded together and actually stopped the hiring of a coach. That's unprecedented. So right, wrong, or indifferent, I know that I some of the talk about Schiano, I don't know if it's true, false, whatever. Some of the allegations and some of the stuff was pretty harsh. People were saying,
yeah,
they were brutal.
They were brutal. And my thing was, I just don't think he should have been anywhere near the top of our list. Now, whether they offered it to 5 other people before that happened, I don't know. But from a football standpoint, I thought it was a crazy move. But
I heard today that
record,
Georgia State turned him down. Now, if Georgia State's turning down a coach, he should not even be. He shouldn't be on the backside of our back pocket.
Wait a minute. Georgia, the whole state or just the coach?
The college Georgia State. The one that didn't exist until Bill Cosby.
Probably the entire state too, though.
They probably did. They're like Knoxville. No, we're good.
We're okay with Kirby Smart, but we don't even want Schiano anyways. No.
Yeah, just don't drive down it. Actually, don't even connect through Atlanta, going other places.
Yeah, go around South Carolina, sneak down through Augusta or something. Get out of here.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, you're going to end up with Petrino or T. Martin. Mark my word, because nobody else will take it.
I'd be fine with T. Martin. Petrino's got his first. I would, but I'm a.
Oh.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be his first coaching job.
Phil Fulmer. Phil Fulmer never was a head coach, but until he got the job.
He wasn't. Hey, and my thing with that is, Schiano's been a head coach before, but heck, we were going to sign a guy that's a defensive coordinator right now that has gone all the way back down to high school from the NFL and back around, and can't get anybody to hire him. So I feel like I was reading an article last night from USC's head coach singing the praises of T, and he said he knows he's not going to be an offensive coordinator much longer, because he said he's the most well-rounded coach he's ever been around. He's great at recruiting and is good with the kids. And I don't know. I think that it would make Tennessee fans happy, obviously, because of the one national championship in recent history.
Yeah.
He was the quarterback, and I don't know. I mean, it's kind of scary to have a guy that's never been a head coach come in, but he would at least have the best interest of the program at his core. But let's just be honest. It's a dumpster fire right now.
Absolutely.
Oh my God! We're just laughing up here. Y'all like I've never understood why Tennesseans try to make fun of Kentuckians. We're the same freaking person. We're the same person.
It is.
But
it's the same way with Bama.
Like y'all think y'all are like a level above, and I'm like, what are you talking about? We're neighbors. We have relatives that live in both states.
Yeah.
Then
exactly.
Well, I tell you right now, we are laughing. I'm not gonna lie. We're laughing.
Well, everybody is.
Like
belly
laughs.
Well, when Kentucky beats us at football, you've always kicked our butt at basketball, but now you kick our butt at football. And heck, man, so I'm an hour south of Nashville, and then I'm right above Huntsville and Muscle Shoals, Alabama. So I went to school down there at the University of North Alabama. So I'm in Alabama about as much as I am Tennessee, but you got a ton of Vandy fans around here, a ton of Auburn fans, and a ton of Alabama fans. So it's pretty rough around here these days, especially since Vandy's won 2 years in a row. Holy cow!
Wow.
And an awful Vandy team this year just cleaned our clock. So
Vandy was the only team that Kentucky beat from the first quarter to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
When you get beat by Vandy and Kentucky in the same year, you pretty well suck.
Well,
and Missouri. Let's not forget that.
Missouri.
Hey, or the entire SEC.
Yeah, just take it.
So y'all accomplished 2 milestones this year. First time not winning a conference game, and first time with an 8-loss season. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yep.
Pop the corks.
It's been
Pop
exciting.
The corks, please.
You can tell the coaches are lined up outside of the university. They're like, man, let's get on this. And unfortunately, as good as the fans stopping that was, it also made us look like crazy rednecks a little bit. So I can imagine a guy going, I would like to coach there, but if I pick those guys off, this could go south in a hurry.
Yeah. I mean,
and I think that's any SEC fan base,
It was almost like somebody said, hey, that guy's singular responsible for the death of Dale Earnhardt.
No. Yeah. He kicked Smokey. He came to a game and kicked Smokey right in the rear.
Yeah. He don't even like dogs.
Yeah, he hates dogs. Get that dog out of here.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah. Dave, weren't you telling me about wasn't there a time in Kentucky basketball where they hired somebody and then once they got him there, they called the school back and said, "Can you take him back?"
Yeah, when Tubby left, we hired Billy Gillespie for 2 seasons, and about 2 weeks after we hired him, our AD called A&M and said, "Hey, we all take him back." They said, "Heck no, he's your problem now."
No returns, no refunds.
I think he got a $6 million buyout, man. I mean, like that was a bad time to be a Kentucky fan. I mean, a bad time.
Dude, I don't know how these guys negotiate buyouts. I know in fishing sponsorships and regular day job life, you don't really get to negotiate that kind of stuff.
No,
let me ask you this, Luke. Do most anglers have a clause if they win a cup or a classic? Is there do they have that in there, or are they just hoping they win one?
Well, it's a lot of guys negotiate that in, but a lot of companies, in lieu of paying guys a large salary or even a decent sized monthly salary for sponsor deals, will throw those out there as incentives, and it makes you bust your butt. But a lot of I've got a couple things that are like, if you make the cup, incentives, if you win Angler of the Year, top 10 Angler of the Year, an FLW Tour win. But there's a lot of different ones they do. And guys, and it's obviously the amounts are different. But a lot of guys have that in there. Yeah. But as far as like multi-year contracts and things like that you hear in other sports, you don't see that. 2 and 3 year deals are kind of hard to come by.
Unless your name goes by 3 initials, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he's got some 20-year contracts.
Some don't have an expiration date at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they all just hope he don't decide to go somewhere else.
A lot of people don't realize one of the most unique things I think about KVD is he don't go jumping around. He's been with the same people forever.
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
Dude, he's been selling nitro boats and quantum reels for a long time.
That's and Strike King. He's been with Strike King for 25 years.
Yeah,
he was with them. Yeah, he was Strike King before Strike King was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when it was cheap Walmart stuff, you kind of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they're still selling the Bill Dance Porco and the popping grass frog.
Hey, who made? I remember I bought a Dance's eel one time. I was probably about 12. And then my dad went fishing. We had this old aluminum bowl. I think I lost it on the third cast. I really wish somebody would bring those.
Grass.
No,
the Dance's eel. Remember the Dance eel?
Oh, listen, there maybe it wasn't Strike King that made the Porco, but that thing was legit. I mean, it was. But the dancing eel, yeah, it was legit. They would eat that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I think you can still get them. I think Yum still sells them.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they're.
Is that who made the eel? I couldn't remember for the life of me.
I don't know who made it back then, but Yum Pratco has it now under their umbrella.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how retro stuff is in for like older people in generation, dude. Some of them old lures that'll bring them back. I guarantee you, people our age and older would buy that stuff.
I guarantee it. There's a few.
Oh,
I know there's some old crankbaits and things that my dad, we used to fish when we fished club tournaments, and I'd steal them out of his tackle box. And there's a lot of them I wish we still had. We had a guy that decided to take a lot of that from us when I was in high school, broke into the garage, lost a lot of those old crankbaits and old big P70 pop R's and old wounded spooks and a lot of cool stuff my dad had. Yeah, not cool at all, but I miss some of that stuff,
Oh yeah, yeah. My first big bass was on an old Big O.
Huge, yeah. That's a great plug.
Oh yeah,
that's one of them baits that revolutionized the industry. It just opened the door for so much, competition and variety. Yeah,
absolutely.
Is there anybody down there in that area, Luke, that's known for like making their own crankbaits? East Tennessee's got CP, and I mean, just everybody's brother-in-law makes them, but I don't remember much about the Gunnersville, North Alabama area ever hearing about like homemade or local crankbait guys.
No, we don't, honestly. I mean, there's some guys that paint down here that are pretty good, but I tell you what, we're just overran with down here, and especially Southern Tennessee, North Alabama, is guys that make jigs.
I was about to say, y'all are jig heavy down. Y'all are jig heavy down here. No pun intended.
We are, but a lot of cool homemade spinner baits with, just there's a guy down in Muscle Shoals that makes one that is kind of a Pickwick Lake staple for a few guys that you can't buy one like it anywhere. And I mean, it's a standard tandem, Willa Colorado combo, but it's the wire's really special. And a lot of guys throw a big 1 ounce down here, even shallow. They throw a 3/4 or 1 ounce just about all year. But there's a guy that makes one down there. And of course, the Alabama rig, originated in Florence, Alabama. But Andy Poss, that's where he's from. And I can remember before that thing blew up with Elias, seeing them in tackle stores hanging down there, and everybody just kind of laughed. But once it blew up, then of course, everybody knows what happened then. Everybody jumped on that bandwagon. But Andy, that's where it was born, Pickwick Lake.
Do you think he didn't have the right advice or got rid of that too early? I feel like he left money on the table.
I'm sure he did. I've heard that he left a lot out there, and that deal was not really
as good as
kosher.
Everybody thought.
that he took on that. And unfortunately, and y'all know this, the fishing world is nothing sacred. I mean, somebody's going to have a different spin on it. You look at the Cinco. Everybody's got a Cinco. The original's obviously got his own special thing, but everybody's got something similar. Everybody tries to, everybody's got a creature bait like a Zoom brush hog now, some variation. Everybody's got a sweet beaver. Yeah, everybody's got a beaver. Everybody tries to make a fluke, but it just, if you got a crankbait that's hot And now you're seeing it with some of these bigger retail stores. They'll knock off the popular baits and private label it.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
that, Academy and Bass Pro, Cabela's, you see that kind of, and the stuff, pretty good stuff, for the most part, but if something's selling, they'll knock it off. So it's a crazy world. So I think Andy, I don't really know if he knew what he was getting into with that,
And you see that with fishing rods too. I mean, it seems like everybody's coming up with their own rod, and I just wonder. To me, I've always seen it as a finite piece of pizza, and there's so many. I mean, there's so many slices within slices that you can take away, but it's all the same amount of people buying them. It's just trying to move them around. I guess everybody's happy with their little slice.
That's an awesome point that a lot of people, I think, don't realize. And working with CH Marine like I have for a long time, it's like that, the bass boat world, there's only so many built. I don't care how many new companies come in. We've seen an emergence, Phoenix coming onto the scene. They've blown up. Of course, Ranger's always been one of the most dominant out there, and Bass Cat does their thing, Skeeter does their thing. They all do a really good job, and you got a couple new companies that have popped up, and they're not going to build any more bass boats. We're just swapping dollars, at that point. It's just, they're not, and unfortunately there aren't a lot of people. I mean, you got these high school kids coming up, but it's hard for them and it's hard for their mom and daddies to afford $75,000 boats. We built a lot more boats when a good one cost you $20,000,
Oh man, I miss those days.
Yeah, like we all do.
Of course, the dollar went a lot longer back then too.
Yes, that's a fact. It's kind of true with everything. Everything is trended that way.
Hey, Dave, I'm going to take a little tangent here. Dave, I noticed you said that you chose duck hunting over fishing the tournament on Cumberland last weekend, but I noticed our old buddy, Bill Taylor, actually won a tournament on Cumberland. Was that the tournament you were supposed to fish?
No, I think he fished one on Friday. I was supposed to fish one on Saturday, but Cumberland is an hour and a half from where I live, south.
I got you.
And then I duck hunt in far western Kentucky, which is where I go is like 4 hours. I couldn't logistically figure out how I was going to leave the house at 4 Saturday morning, drive to Cumberland, fish all day, take a 4.5-hour trip to Paducah down to Ballard County, get up at 4, duck hunt Sunday, and then come back Monday. I couldn't. If he would have, if duck hunting, if it wasn't open in the weekend, I'd have went. But yeah, I hated to turn it down. But there's some good brown fish down there this time of year.
It's good to see Bill actually fish a tournament.
Now Bill's a fish catcher now. he wears them out in those Tuesday and Thursday nighters. On a boo-hoo.
One of those
He loves it.
Well, we wondering. Dave and I are wondering how many good buddies Ron Lappin has.
Oh, a bunch.
I mean, yeah,
all of them.
Oh, good buddy.
I just heard
everybody.
I just heard 18 is going to be his last year at FLW. He's retiring after next year.
That's the word on the street, and I think it's pretty much a done deal from what what we've been hearing. But Bill's been saying he's going to retire for about the last 20 years.
Yeah,
he's threatening.
Yeah.
But Bill loves it. He loves which Lappin loves it too. But I think Bill Taylor and a lot of people, we give Bill a hard time because he loves it so much. But he's as passionate about our sport, and I know Trip Weldon is too. Like, they're fishermen at their core. It's not a business to them. And Bill's running around, and it's what most people don't see. He's in the tanks. He's back there looking at everybody's weighing bag, talking about the day, and he'll tell you if he thinks you suck or not.
That's funny.
Like, I remember one day last year, I think it's when I made the cut at Kentucky Lake last year, in 16, I had 2 decent days, but Kentucky was fishing really tough, and I weighed in like a little over 17 both days, whatever the case was, and I came up on day 2, and he's standing at the bottom of the stairs. I'm going on stage, and he said, "What you got, Dunk?" I said, "I don't know, 16, 17 pounds, about like yesterday. And he goes, "Oh, I'd get you a good little check and you get out of here." And I end up making the cut. But that's how he is. He won't ever let you think that you're killing it.
Oh, no.
He keeps you in check.
Keeps you humble.
He keeps you in check. Yeah, he does. He does it to, and I'm a low hanging fruit guy, obviously, but especially this year. But he does it to Morgan and Thrill. He does it to everybody. That's just Bill. But man, he loves fishing. He does. He loves Cumberland, and I figure Cumberland's going to be the new Beaver Lake for us. I really,
it's
all I have is, well, I just figure he loves it, and the crowds were pretty good up there last year, and the lake's awesome, and is fishing better than it has in a long time, seems like. And I really took it on the jaw there on day 2 last year, but in day 1, when I boxed my 5th one, I was like, man, I'm going to be, I'm doing all right, because I had 4 smallmouth in a spot and got in and was like 60th. They freaking rocked them, which they always do. If they ever say they're not catching them, you can just bet they're catching them.
Professional sandbaggers.
No, it's everybody. But that
man.
lake really blew my mind, on how I fish. And I can't wait to get back up there this year. I think that going a little later in the year, I think it'll be even better. Hopefully the weather will be a little bit more stable. We had really bad weather last year there.
Dude, that was crazy.
Man,
Oh man,
I was down there.
Awesome.
I was down there the Wednesday before doing a couple interviews, and dude, when that front came in, I was like, holy crap, he might hold them for a little bit, because it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It was 40 or 41 degrees, and the wind blew over 20 the first day, and it rained all day long, and just an old soaking rain. you could barely see your co-angler in the back of the boat at times. It was just crazy.
Yeah, that's bad.
But they bit. Lord have mercy, they bit, though. I mean, it was just, them smallmouths went nuts that day, I feel like.
Is it about the same time next year?
We are actually, I want to think it may be 2 weeks later.
Okay.
Than we were. We were the very first week of April. I think it will be. The largemouth, which I kind of missed that deal, and which is one of my favorite ways to fish, but a lot of guys caught largemouth off the bed the first 2 days, and I missed that completely, and I ended up kind of putting my, all my eggs in the smallmouth thing, which is kind of dangerous with the 18-inch deal, and I caught, the first day I probably threw back 3 limits that would have weighed 15 pounds that I couldn't weigh in.
17 inches?
17 3/4. I mean, my co-angler was freaking out. He's like, man, alive. And I caught 4 keepers. I jumped off one late in the day that was probably a 4+, best one I had all day. But yeah, I was throwing back, legitimate, close to 3-pounders if they weren't, super fat fish, but I feel like they were 3, and but it's part of it. And heck, Scott Martin wins it with a mixed bag. He had a lot of smallmouth, and Clark Windlet led it for the first 3 days with smallmouth. But then you saw kind of what happened to him. It's just a gamble there. You guys, I mean, it's a.
So we figured that was more of a Windlet losing it than it was a Martin winning it.
It was, and we all talked about it. If you put your eggs in the smallmouth basket, you never know what was going to happen. I mean,
that is exactly right.
That's what happened to me. Well, day 2, I caught a lot of 15, 16, 17 inchers for the first 2 hours, and then they just quit altogether. And I ended up scrambling and weighing like 3 or 4 largemouth the second day, but nothing spectacular by any means. And they bit me in the butt pretty bad.
Yeah. That lake is so massive too, though. I mean, that is a big lake. God, it's got you can go everywhere in that place.
You can. I've been there 3 times now. I fished a big team tournament there years ago, and it was when the dam had the problem. They had it drawn down 50 feet or whatever. Yeah, I fished it there in a big team tournament, national championship, and didn't do good at all. And then I went up for about 3 days for a scouting trip before the tour event, before cutoff, just to ride it again, because we were going out of Burnside, and when I fished that team tournament event, we had gone out of Conley Bottom, and I fished that end of the lake, so I just wanted to refamiliarize myself with everything, and I knew it would look different, obviously, this time, and then of course fishing in the tournament. So I still haven't seen. I bet I haven't seen 50% of it. I guarantee I haven't.
I tell you what,
You know?
just be glad y'all are fishing in the early spring before the Ohio Navy and the big, large 40-foot cigarette boats come down. You don't want to fish that thing. You don't want to fish that thing in the summer, dude. Them freaking Ohio people. I live right in between Ohio and Cumberland, and man, on I-75 Thursday afternoon, it gets crazy. All them big boats coming down.
Just get out of the way, huh?
Let them have it, man. They will run you over and won't think twice about it.
Well, I can imagine that. They're probably all Shiano and Urban Meyer fans.
Oh yeah. Yeah, probably
all,
are.
They're all like, what the heck? We got to get down there.
Oh, I don't think any of them Buckeye fans even knew what anything about Shiano, and didn't care really. I think they just wanted him to win.
No, they don't. They don't care.
Hey,
and I've read some articles saying that about, not to keep going back to Tennessee, but I've read some articles. There's been some nasty stuff said about Tennessee fans by a lot of these sports writers. And they're like, well, if he was a good coach, nothing would have ever been brought up about his past. And I don't think that would have been the case. You guys know I'm proud to be a Southern guy, and things are just different in the South.
Yeah,
truly. And I just feel like that somebody with that kind of, history behind them, right, wrong, and different, they're just not going to make it.
And what we've been through the last 10 years, I mean, it's just
been
abuse. I mean, it's just been terrible. So the mentality is, we keep seeing keep seeing Jimmy Haslam run the Browns in the ground, and now he's trying to treat Tennessee like, Tennessee Browns. So we're fed up.
I know.
That's what it is. I mean, everybody stood up and said, all right, character issues aside, even if there's a shadow of a doubt that he might have some character issues, that's one thing, but nobody else in the country is calling him for a job. He's not the one for Tennessee. We need somebody that's going to get back to our traditional, culture, lack of a better word.
No, I was all on board with Kiffin when he was there. I got on that bandwagon, and I was pumped up. The night I was there, the night they wore the all black, the blackout game against South Carolina, and I was like, this is the future. This is going to be the guy to kind of put us back on the map. And then of course he left us in the dead of night. And then the train wreck started right then with the Dooley Butch thing. And I was like that when they hired Butch. I'm going, who's this guy?
Yeah, I had to go to Wikipedia, and I need to send you
I
need to send you a screenshot I did the morning they announced Butch Jones was the coach. I went to Wikipedia and screenshot whoever had updated his profile, and basically it said, I'm paraphrasing, but it's pretty funny about how Tennessee fans are already pissed, and we're looking forward to 5-7, 4 more years of 5-7 or something. It's pretty funny, but they weren't too far from the truth in some ways.
Oh. Well, they were pretty spot on.
What else other than Cumberland? What are you looking forward to next year?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I am really, this year I was close a lot, but no cigar, and our tournaments were all so tight that it was just, you were always just 1 or 2 bites away, which I feel like it's always that way, but that I feel like I could have had a lot of great tournaments, that I was in the right areas doing the right things, and it just sometimes just don't shake out. But I am, I've spent a lot of time fishing this fall, spent a lot of time in deer stand, kind of getting rejuvenated. And because I'll be honest, by the Potomac, I'd taken my licks pretty good this year, and I was mentally, I wasn't there. Coming home from Potomac, I'm like, I'm ready for a freaking break. and I love it as much as anybody does. And but then got to ICAST, worked a little bit, schedule came out. Man, I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to every one of them. And I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but I would say the ones that I'm looking the most forward to, I am looking forward to Cumberland. Smith's right here in my backyard. It's a place I fish. It's a couple hours from me, but I fished it a good bit that time of year. Over the years, one of my favorite places to fish. I'm looking forward to Lanier. I've never been there, and I think that one's going to be weight-wise to get a check is probably going to be one of the higher ones all year. But even when you get a check, you won't be far out of the top 20 cut.
Isn't that going to be the Jason?
Cut.
That's the Jason Johnson Open, right?
Yeah, that's going to be the JJ Charity Tournament. But I'm hearing, and I don't know how it's going to shake out, but I'm hearing there's a few other Lanier guys that have maybe getting in the tour next year that fish the coastas and things. So I don't know. There's a lot of really good local guys over there, but JJ he's as good as it gets. But, you look at a guy like, it's hard, how that is with our group or the elites. It's hard to pick a local at times because there's so many good guys. And you take spotted bass and you look at a guy like Cody Meyer, who's super tight with JJ. He's fished Lanier a good bit. He keeps his boat over there when he flies back home. And he's, I'd see a guy like that laying the hammer down on him. Schedule sets up good for finesse guys. And as much as I am a meat and potatoes guy, I spend probably too much time with spinning rod in my hand. The FLW staff actually gives me a hard time about that. And they said, man, when this schedule came out, I know you're excited because you love the spinning rod. And I'm like, I really don't. That's not really my thing, but it has become that in the last couple of years a little bit. But I think St. Clair will be awesome. Florida's always dicey. I know everybody says that. You got to survive Florida because it's not a place where, patterns do come into play, but there's so much luck involved down there, in my opinion, especially Okeechobee. You'll catch 15 pound and 3/4 to 2.5 pounders or something crazy, and then catch a 7 to give you your weight for the day. And you see that so many times. 20-pound bags down there aren't 5 4-pounders. The guy's got a 7, 2 6s, and then 2 rats or whatever. It's a crazy place, and you may go to the next thing and catch 8 pounds. You see a lot in big tournaments down there. So it's a crap shoot. I really like the Harris chain, but and you can't forget Kentucky Lake. So that's going to be
interesting. It's a hair early for the mega edge. That's going to make it.
Yeah,
definitely going to be.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that one. I got there's could be some in between stuff going on, and could be some of that old bush flipping still going on, and I would not be upset about that.
Oh man, in the bushes.
I know we can't give you any information, but one tip that I think is pretty much public knowledge is wear a bicycle or a motorcycle helmet when you come up, because the Asian carp are here.
Oh, I tell you, a crazy one I'm hearing on those carp. Yeah, they're everywhere. When we were there in 16, it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. Grabbing the ledges, because we were there a little later, and that's about all you did, Of course, I ended up making a cut, flipping willows. But I'm hearing, and I know you guys are hearing the same thing, the Coastal Championship was tougher than nails, which that's kind of fall, Tennessee River kind of thing.
Yeah.
But from what the guys are saying, there's not any threadfin shad in the lake anymore.
Right.
At all.
They're disappeared.
Well, the scariest thing I heard out of that is I was talking to Gagliardi, and he and he's one of my best friends in the world, and he said, man, you're not going to believe what happened to me up there. He said he pulled up on some gizzard shad, some fish looked like they were schooling. His dad saw them. They're in practice, and they stopped on them. He threw an A-rig in them. He started catching those Asian carp on a 4.5-inch swim bait on an A-rig every cast.
Did he kill everyone?
The shaft. I hope he did. He did.
Kidding.
But the scary part of it is they're eating shad. They normally don't. And it sounds like there's so many that they've started kind of evolving into that. And I don't know. And I'm hearing guys saying that they see them boiling in like shad fry and bass fry in the spring.
Uh-huh.
And it can't be good when you got that many of something. They're seeing them in Pickwick now. I got a buddy that showed me a screenshot of his graphs from last week. Ton of them on Pickwick already.
Pickwick's probably a couple of years behind Tennessee or Kentucky Lake, but it's going to happen. I just don't know how you get rid of them anymore. When there's this many of them, I don't know how you do it unless you can get some commercial fishing pressure to keep them in check.
Well, I guess that, or really, I don't know. Some of the smaller rivers up north, they put those electrical barriers and electronic barriers, which they didn't do a lot. But it's easier to net them in places like that. I mean, Kentucky Lake's huge.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so wide in places. It'd be hard to ever really get rid of them. I don't know. Hopefully, they can come up with something before they really, they make it all the way into Pickwick and Wilson, Wheeler, Gunnersville, and right on up to Chickamauga.
Yeah.
At some point. And that's a problem, not just for the Tennessee River, but all over. But, the officials, the TWRA, they're not really, it doesn't even seem like it's on their radar right now.
It seems like they're definitely kind of finally coming out and admitting, it's a problem, and we got to, they're working with Kentucky. We've had Ron Brooks on here with the director of Kentucky Fisheries about a plan for the future. But, something needs to be done. It's just public's really starting to get educated on them, too. You know that big catfish that's in Paris when you're driving through Paris, Tennessee?
Yeah.
I think if the market price for Asian carp gets up there where it's profitable for these guys to go out and do it, that economy could boom and they would replace that catfish with an Asian carp. And then they could have the world's biggest fish fry would double.
Oh man, those nasty suckers! They're so slimy. I've heard people say that the best way to eat a gar is to nail them to a board and smoke them over an open fire, and then throw the gar away and eat the board.
Yeah,
I think a carp, Asian carp, probably about the same way. Those suckers are nasty, but there's got to be some kind of plan though. You got to get people fishing for them one way or the other. But
yeah,
I'd say that there's millions of them.
Got to be.
It's crazy to see.
Bass gonna have to start eating.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, we got one.
Somebody's gonna have to.
We got.
We'll get old Bill on it.
Let's get. Oh yeah, Bill. He's gonna retire. He's gonna have all that time on his hands. You'll have to work on
master.
You have to work on your Daniel Fennell impersonation in the future, I think.
Yeah. I love Daniel.
All right, man.
Oh, I love Daniel.
Oh man. Hey man.
All right.
See you tomorrow, man. All right, man.
I heard that. When you next year when you
I heard that.
Oh,
I heard that. Y'all are spot on.
Well,
Spot on.
When I worked out at Cabela's, and we'd be in the fishing department there at the headquarters, and we'd be listening to the weigh-in on our headphones, and me and a friend of mine that worked there, whenever Daniel would say, I heard that, we'd all just, I heard that, and you hear everybody in the office, it's like a parrot, just to echo, I heard that.
Oh, that's so good.
That was so
I'm
funny.
going to have to work on my Fennel impression.
Yeah, man. All right, man.
I think I'll make him nervous. All right, man. Yeah, I think I'll make Daniel nervous.
I think a lot of people make him nervous, actually.
Yeah, he's scared as a cat.
Yeah.
Hey, we got. Me and Matt's been trying to get on the weigh-in hosting schedule of several big events, but nobody has called us. I figured Matt could do the technical part, and we could both chip in on the comedy, and that'd be like, "Is this a weigh-in or what?" We'd be like, "No, don't worry about the fish."
I think there's something to that. You see what Mercer's done over at Bass, and
no kid.
He's a character, and a buddy of mine that I think would be awesome for that job is old Fat Cat Newton.
Oh,
I think
goodness.
he's a
dadgum
mess
He
now.
is hilarious, man.
You know how many sweat towels he would go through in one day, though?
Oh, he would. Now he's gonna sweat. We did a charity, that Brian Robinson charity tournament up in Minnesota on the Mississippi River this summer with the Vikings, and Fat Cat was the MC, and then he fished the tournament too. Him and Brad Knight actually won it. But he's something. He's so quick-witted.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
so
Instagram little Instagram stories, videos. He just comes up with it on the spot. You got to give him credit.
High kick.
He's so funny.
Oh, it's gold.
Yeah, you got to have that high kick.
Speaking of Instagram, Dave and I, we got a little phrase called Instabaggers, and when you guys are down there, in Florida next year, just for a code, if you want to send me and Dave a message to let us know you're on them, start posting pictures of alligators.
Okay.
Because when the guys in practice posting fish, this is our fantasy. We do a fantasy picks, during the summer or during the season, and that's one of the things we actually get clued in on is how many pictures of alligators did the angler post while he was fishing. The earlier in the week that he does it, the more he's on.
Oh yeah, Ross Barnett this year was like that for the elites. They're all like, "Look at this gator.
It's the same one.
This place stinks. We're not catching anything." Yeah, it's the same one. They're all in the same backwater.
Yeah.
And somewhere else it was like snakes that they were at this year. Yeah, there's always a theme, and everybody posts the same thing to keep from posting what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
I'm normally so excited when I catch a good one that I just post it.
Just do it.
I don't really care. I took over FLW Snapchat. Well, at least if I don't catch them in the tournament, I can be like, look at all these I caught. I did catch some.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah, one day. It was Sunday.
Yeah.
It was Sunday, but here they are, week. Yeah, last week. 2 weeks ago, I came up for pre-fish. This place was awesome.
I don't know why they're not biting. I had 20 pounds in my first hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, that's funny.
What do you think about that?
It's true.
The pre-fish, you guys, it's 2 weeks before the event? It's a cutoff? Is that right?
Yeah, we can't be on the water with anybody, locals or friends or whatever, 30 days out. And then the 2 week is the information and off limits.
Do you think
can't be on the water at all?
Do you think bass would go to a rule like that? Because they went with that no information rule this year, which it sounded like a lot of the anglers wanted. But man, it's going to be tough to enforce and really hard to put your fingers in your ear everywhere you go.
It is, just because as fishermen, I mean, you guys are living proof of it. You've got a podcast because we all like to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we like to do. And when you meet people, it's like, hey, all right, where are you from? Oh, man, I live at Sam Rayburn. Oh, cool. Y'all catch them on rattle trap.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? It just, and your general guy, I meet him at gas pumps. You're wherever, and a guy comes up and he's like, I fished this lake for 20 years. I tell you what, you better be throwing that Carolina rig 8-inch lead. You're like, hey, you can't tell me that. You can't tell me that, even though you didn't solicit it. And they don't understand, and they don't. They think you're being rude.
You're paranoid. Like, you're paranoid, and you can't actually put that on then, because.
Well, I don't know. I tried to interview Tommy Biffle at a classic one time, and that was the hardest 2 minutes of my life.
I bet.
I was like, you know what, Tommy? I sincerely apologize for killing your time. I will never make eye contact with you the rest of the weekend.
You're like, I'm just going to leave.
Yeah,
fly this way.
Yeah, I'm going to act like it's never even happened.
We'll stay in your blind spot.
He'll scare you to death now.
Oh, yeah.
He will scare you to death.
Yeah. Get off my hole, boy. It's my hole. Get out of my hole. That's my lake, boy. Get out of my hole.
The whole lake. I'm fixing all this.
Yeah, it's all mine.
Yeah.
This whole creek.
Man. But he's not good at reading commercials either.
No, he's not. Oh, my gosh. I know which one you're talking about.
Everywhere.
All those are bad, though.
Dude, trust me.
All those are bad.
When that thing comes on, I hit that 15-second 3 times. So I go back in. I'm like, I'm looking at the water. I'm looking at the birds. I'm like, no, we're not. We're not looking at anything. We're not listening.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys are honest about stuff, and you don't sugarcoat it, which is how I try to be. And that gummit fishing's supposed to be fun, and we should be able to poke fun at stuff like that.
People get truth.
I agree.
People, man, I always, Fat Cat and I go back and forth about it a lot. It's amazing to me how uptight people get about fishing, or if you poke fun at a video or somebody's post or somebody says in a tournament, man, people get, and there's a lot of egos in professional fishing, but goodness gracious, just let it ride. And I think, Swindle's done a good job of that over the years. He says what he thinks.
Oh, he does,
for
yeah.
better or worse, and there's people love him for it.
He said
I tell you who made one of the biggest goof ups but took it the best is when Strader was talking about his Mercury.
Oh my God!
They'll never let him down on that.
Listen, somebody did that at the Cup. Might have been it was Gagliardi. He's in a Falcon boat now, and he thanked Ranger the last day of the Cup. And
whoops.
I told Wes, I said, man, he really Stradered that deal. Dude,
It's a new verb.
He did not. Wesley, I mean, he was so caught up in the moment, didn't know, got a bad day. And Brad Knight and I were working the expo and watching the weigh-in live on a flat screen there that somebody had in the booth. And when that happened, we just said, oh, no. We just kind of turned around and walked off. And Brad went and found 2 Mercury. They had those like noise makers you could slam together that were inflatable deals. He went and found 2 of the Mercury ones and sent Wes a picture and said, hey, I got you a souvenir from the Classic. It was we truly we didn't cut him any slack whatsoever.
No,
and
no need.
he didn't no need whatsoever. And so funny, man. That was one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, who are you going to laugh at?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Man,
and I'm good at that.
man,
It's all fun and games until somebody loses a check because they said the wrong name, though.
That's true. But my thing is, if sponsors don't let that slide, I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, how many times do you think he passed the word Mercury on the way from his boat down that ramp to the weigh-in stage? How many times
Well,
he saw the word Mercury?
He said that the thing was he was looking around that, the stadium there, and there was a Mercury banner right in front of him.
I don't doubt it.
And he said that just kind of, pulled his mind wherever, because he was already nervous and had a bad day.
Yeah, and you're at the freaking Bassmaster Classic, and you're in a baseball stadium.
Yeah, I don't know. You always, on stage, you'll have folks get mad at you, different sponsors, different things, and I don't like the canned sponsor speeches that a lot of guys give, and you're always going to leave somebody out, and you're always, not going to thank the right guy. And it's interesting.
Yeah.
To say the very least.
Yeah, I was telling Matt the other day, it appears that Millennium Seats and Deer Stands is the new Livingston Lures of fishing. Like they have, they are freaking everywhere.
Yeah,
they have bombarded the marketing.
They have. They have big time. And it's funny you start seeing those trends. The 2 that are coming in like a wrecking ball right now is Real Tree and Mossy Oak.
Oh yeah.
Man, what's that about?
Getting into it.
They're both coming out with. I guess they've just made too much money in hunting and they got money to throw away. But they're coming up with all new fishing shirts.
Camo.
I mean, that's what.
Camo.
Fishing camo and Real Tree sponsoring FLW.
Yeah.
They announced that. And that's a crazy good deal for FLW, and then Mossy Oak sponsoring Van Dam, Jordan Lee, Swindle, and Ott Defoe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're spending some money in the industry, but that's what I'm seeing right now. And hearing a lot, and supposedly they're going after a lot more guys. I think Real Tree got Jacob Wheeler, maybe a couple more guys, and then sponsoring FLW stuff.
Maybe they'll keep a couple more companies from making coolers.
Holy cow!
I mean, good. Them things must be so cheap to make and so profitable that what are there? 30 companies now? Used to be like 3.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, everybody's got like if somebody now gets a new cooler sponsor, I'm like, I really want to say that's what we need is another one
or a bucket.
Hey, honest to goodness, there's a company that I work around a lot in the marine industry that makes a cooler that talked to me this fall about it, and I turned it down.
Yeah,
it's just not something you can promote because this is one that not many people know, and I don't even know where they could really get it. They sell it more to boat builders and things. and they're kind of in the RV world also. It's just one of those things, you're going to promote it, and it's a good cooler. It's a good product. But heck, man, they all do about the same thing.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, or Dave, you know, the last big thing at ICAST was the bucket, you know, the Yeti bucket.
Oh, gosh.
Good night.
Or you go to Lowe's, get you a $2.
We've made so much fun of them buckets. You can get the Yeti for $39.99. You can go to Cabela's and get theirs for $6.99, or you can go to Lowe's and get theirs for $2.99. Take your pick.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about the sticker on the side.
Yeah, that Yeti, man, their marketing, it blows my mind. I've said forever, you've got to get that to get your product over the edge. If you get that high school, college fraternity boy customer base to slap a sticker on their trucks, to slap a hat on their head, even if they ain't got the cooler, that's when you're doing. When you're doing good. When you make that logo popular, man, that's when you got it in the bag. You just
secured the next generation of customers too, because when they start having kids and they're old enough to go to school and start hunting, who are they going to remember? I used to have Drake and Yeti and Under Armour.
Yeah, and I wore Columbia fishing shirts.
Yeah.
I mean that's it really does. It happens. And
now
I just never thought.
Is Realtree going to get with Columbia to be the official camo shirt of FLW?
Well, I was actually in a meeting with FLW yesterday, and we talked about that. And I do think that there may be some cross promotion stuff coming with them.
Well, that'd be all right.
Synergies.
Yeah, we'll see. They'll all be. We won't even be able to see old Bill. He'll be camoed up.
I'm over here.
We'll only see his britches.
Hey,
I'm over here.
I ain't got any legs. Look.
So, how big are they going to be? I mean, are we going to see like camo weigh-in bags, or how big are they going to push with FLW?
No, because you won't see weigh-in bags, but they're going to. I want to think maybe the trailer may be wrapped in it.
Oh wow!
Weigh-in trailer. Yeah, I mean they're going on pretty good deal, sounds like, for them. So I think, and hopefully they'll stick around. I mean, those bigger companies that aren't really in our industry, that's kind of what makes it grow every time. Because as you said earlier, the pizza's only so big.
Yeah,
only so many pieces of the pie for sponsorship within the industry, and it's always good to, find somebody outside of it that's willing to work with you and sees the potential in the industry. I got lucky last year with a company called Vision Wheels out of Decatur, Alabama. It's one of the biggest aftermarket wheel manufacturers, and they never even heard of a bass tournament. And now they're sponsoring me and Ike and Ellie, and I just kind of backed into the deal through a dealer friend of mine, and they just now they're impressed. They're selling to some boat builders, selling some custom wheels to them, and it's pretty cool. But they're like, hey, there's a lot to this bass fishing deal, and these folks are loyal. I'm like, you dang right they are. If you support the industry, they start paying attention. So there's definitely some value to this to some people that aren't in it. But the Geicos of the world, I know Bass did a deal with them. Toyota obviously has made a huge difference.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
For us, and going back a few years, when the tour was the craziest thing in the world as far as paybacks, look what Walmart did for so long.
Well, when you had Walmart and the National Guard and all them Walmart brand teams, I mean, my gosh, that was money flying.
Well, when Greg Pugh was riding down the lake in an M&M's boat, everybody was getting in on the game.
Yeah,
the old brown M&M boat.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Very true. Greg Pugh, little known fact, the only human being I've ever heard on stage in a tournament in November. We fished the Bassmaster Open on Lake Martin, and he said he caught a 6-pounder off the bed and had a 3-pounder. That was the buck in November, and it was about 19 degrees, and the water temperature was like 52.
He just straightened that. He straightened that.
Well, I'm assuming he was Carolina rigging a spinnerbait at the same time.
Yeah.
I have no doubt. He drop shot the beetle spin.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring that up sometime. That's funny. Speaking of,
have you seen this?
you will.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, speaking of,
No.
something that there's only a finite number of space. Have you bought your 12-inch long FLW sticker and found a place to put it on your boat?
I haven't yet. That's no comment. No,
Okay.
I've got plenty of comments on it, actually. The funniest thing was when they sent us an email out saying that we had if we didn't have one made before Okeechobee, that we could buy one from.
Yeah. Oh,
that was my favorite email ever. I was like, or not. Or not. I don't think I'll do that. But I get there are lots of things we could do to make FLW look more professional. My opinion, instead of doing something like that, is it should be required that everybody's got a boat wrap, like the Elite does.
Yeah.
And I try to explain that to friends of mine that fish that don't wrap their boats. And I'm like, even if you wrap it with your name on it, man, it's a tax write-off. But I promise you, the media, FLW media, if they know what your boat wrap looks like, it dang sure lets them pick you out of a crowd. They'll stop, take pictures. It looks good on the website, that kind of stuff. And just get your name out there more, But I would like to see that. I don't think they'll ever do that. But instead of making us put an FLW logo on there so everybody knows we fished the FLW tour, I think everybody having a boat wrap could be good. I think so. But
now,
and I think
do you have to have one on the windshield and two on the side, or either or?
No, we can pick.
Okay.
We can pick. So to me, I don't have any. My windshield will be fine. That's probably where I'll end up putting mine. I've got a sponsor back there on the back that the place they told us on the back where it could go. I've got a company that's where they go on my wrap, so I won't be able to do that. So the windshield will probably be fine for me. I've never had really anything on it, but
I'm assuming that's probably
honestly, it don't bug me as bad as a lot of guys. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Bass does it too, but it's just a smaller logo.
Yeah.
I've heard guys say, "Man, it's going to cost me sponsor space and it cost me money." I don't think that's the case for most guys. As fishermen, I think we like to gripe a lot.
Yeah, we got
and they're doing a lot of good things, man. They really are. They're trying to make some changes. It's just, and I do believe there's some changes coming in the next couple of years to make the tour even better. And it's just they just got to kind of take their time and figure out how they're going to do it. But they're listening. They're listening to the pros, and we've had a lot of guys leave, and for one reason or another. And my opinion is I don't think the grass is any greener. I really don't. I got good friends on, obviously I fish a tour, but got good friends over there, and I think it's just kind of what your plan is and what your goals are and where you want to be with it, But I think it's all, the sport's about as good as it can get right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think you need both. I'd like to throw that out there too. I think you need bass and FLW. It is confusing at times to have two different leagues, but I use this all the time. But what do you do to this high school age group that's coming up and these college guys if you've only got 100 spots to be a quote professional angler in the entire country?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
We're selling dreams, really. I mean, you got a chance. Instead of that, we got, 250, 260 openings, which is still not that many. If you're, a football player, you got a better chance at being in the NFL probably. There's more spots, but it's crazy. So I think there needs to be a couple different ones out there, and I like what MLF's doing. I think that it's got its place, and I know it's got a lot of people that watch it that don't normally watch tournament fishing. So
I still have. Speaking of MLF, I still haven't seen a squincher for sale anywhere. Where do you get squincher at?
They're up in up there in
that's
Alpena.
nasty too.
Yeah, I've heard people that tried it. It's like I don't even want to buy anymore.
yeah, it's pretty. I've tried it, and just pass on that. I'll stick with Gatorade or Powerade.
Back to the Gatorade.
Yeah, get at me, Gatorade. Get at me. I got logo space on my jersey. Come on, Gatorade.
Yeah. You know what, though? I mean, you think of the people that, other than water, I mean, usually Gatorade or Powerade's like the go-to drink. I mean, Squincher came out of nowhere.
It did.
You know,
That's one of your Livingston lures there, man. They sponsor everybody in the hunting world. And every hunting show Squincher.
Is it really?
Seems like. Oh, Jim Shockey, Michael Waddell.
See,
I
usually DVR that stuff, and I hit fast forward when the commercials come up.
Yeah.
So I notice it.
All those guys are sponsored by Squincher now.
The Gatorade of the outdoorsman.
Yeah, I guess so.
They can take that one for free.
I guess so. They probably have, they may have a Tink 69 version. Who knows? For Jim Shockey.
They might do it.
Yeah. Ugh, terrible.
Whew.
Terrible.
You got to be thirsty for that.
You would have to be, in the backwoods for several weeks.
You got to be lost.
Before that would be appealing. Yeah, you got to be lost. I don't hunt that far from the house. I'm never going to get that. I'm never going to get that far gone, I don't think.
Same here.
Now,
Duncan, you do a little picking on the side, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I used to play a lot. I probably, we used to play 3 nights a week and play all over. I played everywhere from Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, just kind of southeast and out to Texas. And I put out a record on iTunes and Spotify and all that good stuff in 2013. A lot of the whole thing, songs I wrote, and I did the songwriting thing for a good bit, and had a little publishing deal out of Muscle Shoals for a while. But yeah, I still play. Got a thing coming up in December that me and my guys who used to play in my band are going to do, and but not as much anymore. Still write a lot. Still play a good bit at the house, but the 4 a.m. nights in the early mornings,
and
it's
a little rough.
All that. It's a little rough, and fishing's something that I did when I was, fished since I was 12, 10 or 12 in tournaments, and fished the Bassmaster Open when I was 19 and 20 and 21. Just had a good year when I was 19, 2 bad years, and then honestly, when I got out of college, I started working with TH, and really I didn't fish a lot of big tournaments in that time. A lot of team stuff, and then I'd always played music, and in 2008, when the economy crashed, TH cut us way back. They laid off a lot of employees, and my pay got cut. And I truly started playing gigs out to make money for my family, to make extra money. And then it just kind of, spiraled into playing a lot of bigger stuff and playing a lot. But it'll take years off your life, though. That lifestyle will.
Well.
I won't lie about that. But I love it. I love it. I miss it every day. But we're like the typical band guys. We joke about reunions and stuff like that because we're all old and got kids and stuff now, man. We can't be hanging out in no bars with college kids at 4 a.m.
You like more of the traditional stuff instead of this new bro crap.
I do, yeah. I mean, there are guys that are okay. That there's some good stuff mixed in with the real bad, but I think I've been a Stapleton fan for a long time, and back to just his songwriting days in Nashville. I've seen him several times just at songwriter rounds and stuff like that. He's just one of those guys that we always figured he was going to just explode at some point, but it was just
a matter of time.
That it had. Well, I mean, yeah, but to the extent he has, it blows my mind, even as good as he is, that he's internationally, he's just, man, that guy's on top of the world right now.
Eastern Kentucky guy, man.
That's right. So Sturgill Simpson.
Sturgill's from here in Lexington. Did you hear what he did at the CMAs?
I did. Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome.
Oh my gosh,
man.
Yeah, with his Grammy and his guitar case, I thought that's a baller move if I've ever seen one. I'm like, I like that one. I like that. But down here, Jason Isbell's from right down the road, Muscle Shoals. I love Jason.
Yeah.
Loved him when he was with the Drive-By Truckers years ago. But anymore, it's like fishing information on YouTube and things like that. You don't have to listen to what they're feeding you on the radio. You don't. Yeah. You can go out and you can find you something that you like. And I listen to a lot of Texas country, the red dirt stuff. And like I said, there's a lot of really good songwriters in Nashville that are still writing good stuff for some of these pop country artists, but there's a lot of bad up there right now too.
Oh,
I like Little Big Town, they're great. Miranda Lambert's awesome. Some of these guys, and I've kind of made a turn on Eric Church. I liked Eric's first couple albums, and he kind of lost me for a while. I didn't like it, but he's came back around kind of full circle. He's doing some really good stuff again. He did his thing there for a while that, like I said, I just didn't like, and a lot of people did when he kind of went mainstream a little bit. But
yeah,
there's some good ones out there. Dierks Bentley, there's still a lot of good out there. But the rap country, I can't handle.
I thought you was going to say Keith Urban for a minute. Shoot, that was close.
No, I can't. Hey, blue ain't my color, son. Blue ain't my color.
You ever do any picking with our buddy Rodney Clausen?
Who?
Rodney Clausen.
Oh, Rodney. Oh, my phone cut out.
Sorry.
I haven't. I have talked to Rodney a few times, actually, with Chris Lane. Him and Chris Lane are big buddies. And Chris used to was always going, man, you and Rodney got to get together and write. But no, I haven't. And Rodney's he's a really good writer, and he hit some home runs.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he's got some mega stuff out there.
Yeah.
When you have a number one with George Strait, you've done something right.
Oh, exactly. And he got in on that Luke Bryan deal. Rodney wrote several for Luke when Luke first started out, and I think he had maybe a couple Aldine cuts, but and that's actually what I was trying to do for a long time, was the songwriting thing, to get songs cut. I never had aspirations to be an artist really or anything like that. And then when I got hooked up with the producer that I worked with, the Muscle Shoals, a guy by the name of Gary Nichols, he kind of pushed me in that direction, wanting me to do the artist thing. And Gary had had a deal through Mercury Records and a country deal, and Gary actually replaced Chris Stapleton in the group, the Steel Drivers.
Oh, wow.
When Chris left, yeah, and he was playing with the Steel Drivers, and he and I were working together. And but it's a tougher world than fishing ever will be.
Well, that's
crack through in that deal, man.
It's good enough. Rodney is, he's as good of a songwriter he is and musician. He can still kick your butt on Old Hickory any day too.
Oh yeah. You see him in the top 10 and all those BFLs up there.
I guess you got a little time on your hands coming up with a song and you get out on the lake.
Of course. I mean, I think today's time, and it's the way people consume their music. Used to you got paid for big radio cuts because radio was really the only place people could listen unless they bought actual albums or CDs or whatever. Once iTunes started and all the streaming services, songwriters aren't making that much money anymore. And Rodney was probably in that last group of guys to really kill it when they had a big song, because these new guys that are writing number ones, they're really not doing that well. They're probably doing okay, but I mean, if you wrote a number one a few years back, I mean, it was almost like a $500,000 to $1 million deal, depending on how big it was right out of the get-go. Big one. I'd say, and of course you get the royalties for years, but a good friend of mine wrote "Achy Breaky Heart" for Billy Ray Cyrus, and he never did anything else ever again.
Why would you?
Hasn't had to.
He lives on a farm and lives on a farm over here in West Tennessee, and got a studio in his house, and he just kind of sings to himself every day. He doesn't really do much.
I think I've heard.
He had a boat in Mexico for a while.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
The funny thing about that Billy Ray deal is they weren't going to go with that song, And then like some dude got a hold of the deal and was like, no, we need to do this one. No, but I don't really like that one. No, we're doing this one. And then the rest is history.
Yep, that's right. And then it became pop, the number one on pop and country the same week.
Yeah. Another Eastern Kentucky boy, old Billy Ray.
That's right.
Yep. Come full circle back to the mullet.
Back to the mullet and Mike Gundy.
That's right. That sounds like a good way to wrap up the show. We've come full circle back to Mike Gundy.
What we said we were going to talk Tennessee football, so we started on it. I kind of segued back to it in the middle. Yeah. Now in the end, what do you think about Mike Gundy? What are we going to do there?
I just heard from a friend of the show. He's a Major League Fishing official. And out in Oklahoma, and he's saying he told me tonight he's hearing from a lot of the Okie State people that they're denying that Gundy was even talking to UT. So I don't know what to think. I heard later this afternoon they threw out like $8.4 million, and then the memes started coming in and it showed a picture of him saying $8.4 million. Let me mull it over. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, I heard that I read the deal saying Oklahoma State's denying it. Yeah. And then I've read that, Crazy John Curry met him in Dallas today. I read a thing that said Peyton Manning was the reason it was all happening, that he had actually reached out to Gundy to tell him he needed to come to Tennessee and kind of piece the thing together for us, that it was him that did it. Uh-huh. And that Peyton is not all about the T. Martins.
Wow.
Hires.
Wow.
Another thing I read today, that he's totally against it, which here's the thing. I was all in on the Gruden thing for a week of my life too, checking flight updates and everything else with every other crazy.
Watching John eat out there at the airport.
Listen, I refreshed my Twitter every 10 seconds. I got nothing done for a week, and I'm like, what's the latest groomer? What are we doing? He's there. He's in Knoxville. We're getting him. He's at the game. He's at Calhoun's on the river eating ribs. I mean, I was all in.
His wife's out buying furniture.
Exactly. Yeah. This is happening. This is happening. There's no way he leaves us hanging this time. And, I got caught up in that and had a good time. And then now I'm like, they may hire I live in Lawrence County, Tennessee. They may hire Lawrence County's football coach at this point. I don't really know, but they're going to hire our assistant to the assistant to the water boy or something. I really don't know where we're headed, so I don't know what to believe anymore. And when I read stories about Peyton's not in and Peyton reached out to him, I don't know how people know that stuff to write. So
because everybody has a guy, they got a source, they got an insider. I mean, everybody nowadays has a person. I mean, let's face it, everybody has a guy.
Oh, I know.
102,000 of us. We all know somebody that works at the university. It's crazy.
Oh, listen, all the forums. That's how. Well, listen, this comes from a very reliable source that works in the athletic department.
I can't say who it is.
Here are the contract details for Gruden.
Yeah.
And here's the best line. He's never let me down before.
Yeah. He was right on everything else. When we hired Butch, he knew it was happening.
Yes.
He broke the story first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. He told me, here's a text message I screenshot from him. I marked his name off of it.
He used to mow Don DeVoe's yard. He's tight.
They're so tight.
Yeah.
So tight.
I got a feeling we'll know when John Curry says it.
That's right.
Who knows when that'll be.
Let me ask you this. Is the rumor, are they going to let Curry hire somebody and then fire him?
Man,
I shouldn't.
See, that's the rumor up here. It's like they're just going to let him hang around to hire, and then they're going to fire him.
Well, I know a bunch of those boosters, and we all saw that play out on Twitter. You got state representatives running for governor that are blasting him and everything else. I think his days may be numbered if he doesn't get this hire right. And I thought the statement he released on Shiano was just kind of crap.
Yeah,
he just defended his pick, and it was obvious that they're buddies from his statement that he released. And I think that just got him in, even hotter water. But the funniest thing I've seen through all of it was on Monday Night Raw, the WWE, WWF, whatever. They started a Fire Curry rant chant in
That's what
Knoxville
I
last
heard.
night on the show.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
wow.
that the same wrestling show was in Lexington tonight at Rupp, and they were saying last night at Thompson Bowling during the wrestling thing, there were fire Curry rants going on.
Well, the wrestler.
Well, there was a sign a guy on the front row had on poster board, "Fire John Curry." It was on the show the entire night.
Oh,
He hung it over the fence all night. That popped up on Twitter. I don't know how many times, but yeah, they started a Fire Curry chant on the show.
The
It's
wrestler,
beautiful.
also known as Kane, he was saying,
yeah.
he was saying they ought to fire Curry. I think that might have been where it started.
Well, he's running for mayor.
Yeah, mayor
in
of
Knoxville.
Knoxville. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Hey,
is. I didn't know he lived there or was from there or anything, but yeah, he's all in.
Yeah.
He was at the thing last night.
Yeah, that's how it got started.
Yeah,
Everybody was loading up on it.
Oh yeah.
Glenn
Hey,
Thomas, Glenn Jacobs.
Before we wrap this thing up, Luke, one things that bothers Matt the most is Ott Defo lives in Knoxville, and he could care less what goes on in Tennessee.
Oh, that just pisses me off.
Matt can't stand it.
It's a conundrum. He's a riddle to me.
He is it pisses me off too, and I tell you, it makes the maddest of anybody in the world. And this is so funny is David Mullins. Mullins is like the biggest UT fan you've ever met, and 2 years ago, I think it was rookie year for Mullins on the Elite, they did that deal, and it went horribly, but they did that deal. It was
the basketball.
maybe Randy Howe versus Ott on the river.
Yeah.
And Mullins was like, "Now why in the hell did they ask Ott and not me? I love Tennessee. I bleed orange, and he freaking hates it."
Exactly.
Wait a minute, was it Ott or was it David Walker?
Walker.
No, it was Walker.
Yeah,
yeah
he's from
that's right.
Michigan.
It was Walker.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
like
that's
Butch.
right. It was Walker. Yeah, he's a transplant. He ain't
But
even the real deal.
You got to think how many bodies of water in the nation have a football stadium on them.
Baylor.
No
Baylor,
kidding.
that's about
Right,
it. The Brazos
right.
River.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bass Bowl
Man,
because it was the Bass Bowl because it was around the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was a flop. I'll give you that. They never thought of it again.
No, I never did it again. But Mullins, I've never, Mullins was so hot about that. It was hilarious.
Here's Mullins' problem though. He likes Duke and basketball, so he's a
Yeah,
hybrid.
he does. Man, he's a basketball lunatic.
He is.
Yeah.
He's like high school basketball, middle school. He coached forever.
Oh, yeah.
He called me tonight. I talked to David just a little while ago, and he let me go walking into a loud gym. He watches it nearly every night, I swear.
All right, real quick. Tennessee, Kentucky,
Yes, sir.
Alabama only anglers from Kentucky, Tennessee, or Alabama. Who would be your 5 starters on basketball and 1 alternate for pro anglers? Gotta
Pro
go
anglers
Kilgore.
in basketball?
Yeah, gotta go
And I
Kilgore.
can
Wait a
gotta
minute, you're
go
just saying-
Kilgore.
Okay. You
Kilgore's
need
the
5
center.
anglers to make up a team. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, 1 alternate.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm taking Swindle because he's more athletic than he looks, even though he'd probably blow his knee out in the first quarter,
Yeah.
and then we'd be screwed. You got to take Swindle. I got to take Mullins because he knows basketball. I'm taking Morgan also.
Oh yeah, long and lanky.
Andy Morgan.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and he's in awesome shape.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kentucky.
See the problem.
Got to
is
have a Kentucky boy.
Yeah.
See, you only have to pick from like John Hunter, Mark Menendez, or Bradley Roy. Take your pick.
Yeah, well, and on FOW, like Bill Day, I'm not taking Bill. I'm not taking Bill.
No, he's your marketing guy.
No way. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bill can be our coach.
Yeah.
I'm not taking Bill.
Water boy.
Man, yeah. Dude, I'm taking Lambert. Jason Lambert is my, power forward center. Lambert's a big old boy, too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
I need a point guard. Let's
Bradley
see.
Roy.
Yeah, I may go Bradley Roy for point guard, young guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure
He's
he's
50.
He's from the bluegrass area. He likes the Cats. You're in good shape there.
okay. And an alternate for the bench, I would say Drew Benton. He may be the most athletic guy on the Elite.
Yeah.
super athletic dude, but he used to play college baseball.
Good
Now,
balance.
I got a buddy.
Got
I
good
got a
balance.
buddy of mine. I got an open fisherman buddy of mine in Alabama that would love to be the sixth man. Old Joey Nania.
Oh yeah,
Old
Yeah.
Joey could shoot.
I know old Joey.
Yeah.
I didn't know he played basketball.
Oh
That's
yeah, me and him are always going at it. One way I'll send him a video of shooting, he'll send me something. I'm like, dude, next tournament we're at, man, I'm bringing the ball. You find the hoop.
I like that. He's a really good guy. I like Joey.
I met him years ago at a PAA on Old Hickory. We both sucked it up. I think we both had a 14-incher, but man, we had the best time in the boat.
Well, that you can do that at Old Hickory.
Yeah, there ain't much
You
else
got to
to
make
do.
your own fun on that place.
Well, Dave got
yeah.
stuck
I've lived
behind.
an hour and a half from it my whole life, and I avoid it like the plague.
Me too. Dave got stuck behind, what's his name? Old Yamamoto.
Oh, my
One day.
gosh.
Yeah.
Longest fishing day of my life.
Hey, I had that same experience on Smith Lake, the FLW Tour in 2015 as a co-angler, and I about punted his dog out of the boat, threw all his Cincos in the lake.
Dude, tell me, did he stop and hand feed and hand drink?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
hand, gosh. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, and the bad thing about it was with PAA, I couldn't fish if he wasn't fishing.
That's right. That's the same way in
He
tour
would-
if his feet ain't on the deck.
Yeah, he would chew that sandwich up and then spit it in his hand, and his dog would eat it. And I'm like, dude, I just come down here to fish,
Like a
man.
mama bird.
Come on. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, that dog about got one of my square bills. I laid out some baits on the back deck, and the dog got to nosing around. I said, hey, man, you might want to get this thing. I said, he's back here, and I got some crankbaits laid out. I'm trying to tie one on. He goes, that's why I don't throw treble hooks. I said, well, that's why I don't bring my dog in the boat.
Take that.
I tell you what, that was the weirdest. I was backing him down the ramp, and we were like, the trailer was like half in the water, and he yells at me. And we're the only. He got there so late. We're the only truck on the ramp. Like, no, everybody else is in the water. So I look at him, and I said, what? He yells. I got out of it. It was actually a 4Runner. I got out, and I said, what's wrong? Blah, 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 blah. Just back me in. I thought, that's what I was doing till he started yelling. And the day never got better, trust me.
Oh, it didn't. No, it sounds about like my day.
Oh.
Now he
got
travels in a
lost.
big RV with his face on the side of it.
Oh, you're kidding.
Wow.
No, it's there. Big
Oh, wow.
gear.
Well, his wife brought the other dog in the dog stroller to the weigh-in.
Yeah.
All I was doing was getting my stuff out of the boat, and I think that's about the time you showed up, Matt, and I was just trying to find my vehicle. I'm going home.
I wonder, how'd your day go?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, there's no telling. I bet I lost 3 or 4 crankbaits. You think he cared? Nope.
No. I broke off 917 shaky heads behind him, going down the bank 90 miles an hour, and I was just praying to get a bite.
Well, he caught, I remember the highlight of the day is he ended up finishing second in that tournament. Steve Kennedy beat him by like a pound.
By the weight of a baby duck.
Yeah, by the weight of a baby duck on day
Oh,
one.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
duck
Kennedy. Yeah, Kennedy caught a. Yeah, I was in the weigh-in line, and Kennedy was showing everybody. It was still in there, and he had we was finesse fishing, and he had, I guess, a Cinco, I don't know, over a cable of a boat dock in brush on like 8-pound line. He hooks up with a good one, and he starts yelling, "Get your life jacket, life jacket!" I was like, "Okay." So I sit down. He had run the trolling motor as far as he could. He had to turn the big motor on and then jam into that brush pile to get the fish out. It was a remarkable fish landing,
Holy cow.
but I mean, it was like a 3-pounder. It was remarkable how he did it, but I didn't really appreciate the butt chewing. All I was doing was fishing.
3-pounders go a long way.
I can't imagine Gary moving that fast.
Oh, he was. I mean, he had it. He almost had it out. And he had to go up and bump the brush with like the front of his boat, and then get the line out. He did. It was pretty cool.
That's
but I thought,
crazy.
"Hey, you don't have to yell at me."
That's how you become a legend.
That's great.
Man,
Yeah.
Luke, we've been holding you too long, man. I really appreciate you coming on and catching
Hey,
up
you
with
guys
us.
are awesome.
It's been
Well,
fun.
I'm glad we finally got to do it, and we need to buzz you boys in on the next Low Budget Live. We're going. I'm trying to get that thing going a little bit and get it thrown up as a podcast. Hopefully, here in the few weeks. I'm a one man band, so it's with everything I got going. Sometimes it can be hard.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're still like blind men in the dark, feeling our way around, trying to figure out what we're going to do with it. But
Dave and I've been doing this 4 years. We're still trying to do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's awesome what y'all are doing. There's not enough of it in our world, in particular. You know, you see it a lot in the entertainment industry and stuff, but y'all keep doing it. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, I
appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate it. Like you said, just like with country music, you got a little bit of everything for whatever your taste is. You know, some podcasts are more commercial and got advertisements and, you know, got sponsors you're beholden to. But man, Dave and I were just sitting on the back porch talking fishing. That's what we love to do. We love to have guys like we're on.
Well, I really appreciate it and enjoyed the heck out of it.
All right, man. We'll holler at you soon.
Go Vols!
Get on there and go Vols. We'll have a new coach soon.
Hey, I got one thing. Who's going bowling, Kentucky or Tennessee? Oh man, shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Tennessee's got a good basketball team this year.
Hey, yeah,
got a good basketball team. So here we go.
All
right, man. Bring it.
All right,
man.
See you guys later.
We'll see you.
Thank y'all.
All right, you too.
Man, Dave, time flies by talking to him.
Dude, when you talk to somebody that don't have to promote the whole time or do this or try to impress, it just flows good.
It does. Yeah.
Yep.
Talk about a little bit of everything there.
But with that being said, Matt, it's 9:40 where I'm at.
Yeah, it's about 8:40 here.
Yeah.
My simple math skills tell me I'm an hour behind you.
Exactly. I did like it when I was in that time zone over the weekend. That's where I think Jesus lives in the central time zone.
It's pretty convenient all around.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt. Yep. Well, let's shut her down, Matt.
Let's shut her down. Next week.
Let's see. Next week
is Wesley Strader.
Yeah, what's today's date?
Today's 28th.
Oh, I'm at the wrong part of the month. Okay, yeah, the 6th. Okay, because next Tuesday I'm busy.
Yeah.
And then the 12th we're working on a unique guest.
Yes, I think you guys will like it too. It'd be pretty cool.
Exactly.
Yep. But say hey to us on our Instagram. Say hey to us on Twitter at The Outdoor Score. Instagram is TOS Fishing Podcast. Or call us. Leave us a voicemail. I think Floyd from Newmarket left a voicemail a while back. We'll have to play it on the next show.
He did. I like hearing from old Floyd.
A little smack talk there. So
yeah,
appreciate you guys. If you want to get in on that, the phone number is. Let me find it again.
Are you waiting on me, Matt?
No, I got it. 661. 661-665-6867. 661 MOJOTOS.
Oh man, I'm glad you reminded me of that, man. I gotta get Jeff in Georgia his price back out for the rent. 2 weeks ago. Dadgummit, I got busy.
Well, it happens this time of year.
Apologize for that.
Holidays and everything else going on.
If there was somebody that had like a Black Friday deal on tackle right now, that'd be the way to get it.
I think you're right.
I could find some somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's shut her down.
We'll see you next week, guys. Take care.